All right, well, good afternoon. Nice to be here. Good morning or good evening to those of you who are tuning in from other parts of the world. Yeah, it's a real pleasure to be here. I'm just curious, how many of you practice mindfulness? How many of you, whether it's with the app or others? Okay, wow, almost everyone. That's great. That's wonderful. So the title of this book of mine is called Say What You Mean. And I'd like to share with you some of the kind of key and most powerful teachings in the book that I've come to over the last 20 years of my practice of both mindfulness and communication. And I thought I would actually read to you just a few paragraphs from the beginning of the book, since some of what I have to say has been said perhaps the best in the book. So I just want to read you the first few paragraphs of the introduction, because I think it really captures the why. Like, why am I here? Why are all of us here looking at this topic? What we say matters. We've each felt the power that words have to heal, soothe, or uplift us. Even one caring remark can make the difference between giving up and finding the strength to face life's challenges. We each also know something of the great harm that can be inflicted through speech. Sharp words laced with anger or cruelty can break a relationship and burn for years. Language can be used to manipulate and coerce on a mass scale, to fuel fear, war, oppression, or to advance political agendas of genocide or terror. Few things so powerful are also so commonplace. Words are woven into the very fabric of our lives. Your first love, your first job, your last goodbye to someone you love. Our beginnings and endings and the countless moments in between are punctuated by a play of words as we share our thoughts, feelings, and desires. Most of us are communicating all day long, every day, in every area of our life. At home, at work, with friends. When we're alone, we're reading the news, we're on social media, we're thinking, we're planning, we're talking to ourselves in our own mind. So because communication is so pervasive, it's like it's the medium through which we experience our life. It's one of the most powerful levers for change in our life. To a large degree, our ability to communicate skillfully determines the quality of our relationships, personally, socially, and professionally. It plays a huge role in our professional success, our ability to get along with others, to understand things clearly, to articulate ourselves in ways that others can hear, relate to, perhaps even feel inspired by. So with this one aspect of human experience, if we make any changes, even a small change, for the better, that's going to have a rippling effect throughout our whole life. One of the things that motivated and inspired me personally to learn more about communication was that I realized in the early years of my meditation practice, like 5 or 6 years in, that my meditation practice was going fine. I was really enjoying it. I was feeling some peacefulness and calm. I was feeling connected to my heart and my emotions, a sense of goodwill for other people, which is, it's an uplifting experience. And then I'd have, a disagreement with a coworker and it'd all go out the window. And, forget about talking to one of my parents or my siblings. It was, it would all just vanish and evaporate. I say, okay, if I can't stay present and balanced and connected to goodwill and patience and clarity when I'm speaking with someone else, what good is this stuff, right? I mean, yeah, it's nice to be able to sit quietly and calm your mind a little bit, but if it all evaporates as soon as I open my mouth, that's not a really useful life skill. So it's complex, it's inherited, but precisely because communication is a learned skill, it means that we can change it. Right? If it were hardwired, like some of our biology, like the fight, flight, freeze mechanism that's there to protect us, we can't change that. You know, we can develop other resources to handle it when it's misattuned to what's happening around us, but those responses are deeply rooted in our biology for millennia for good reason. Language isn't like that. The capacity for language is, but the actual language that we use is created. It's totally relative to this particular time and place in history. So it can be, how we use it can be changed. It's like someone gives you a tool and they say, here's how I use this. And you watch for a little while and you start using it and you go, you know, I can use this a lot better. Look, if I do this with it, or if I add this to it, or if I take this part off, look how much better it works. So we can start to shape and mold the way that we use this inherited capacity of language. One of the things that I talk a lot about in the book is the way change and transformation occurs in complex systems. So a human organism is a very complex living system. And any of you who have studied systems theory probably know more about it than I do. But within a complex system, one small change can have far-reaching effects. Right? This is what we know today from quantum theory, that transformation doesn't necessarily always require or take a drastic change. So, and it's like that with communication, it's like that with our psychology. One small change, sustained over time, can have far-reaching effects. And because communication is something that shows up and determines the quality of our life in so many areas, even one change, if we're able to carry it forward and really integrate it, will have powerful effects. So as I go through some of the core tools in the book with you, or some of the core principles, you know, see what connects for you as you listen. And don't try to take all of it. Take one thing. And this is very much my approach to teaching communication. You know, find what works for you. Take one thing and stick with it. And integrate it in your life every day until it becomes second nature. It becomes a new habit. And then it's there for you whenever you need it. And then you take another one. And like that, over time, you change your trajectories.